what kind of led you to? I remember you from hip hop, but I know your roots. Like, how did everything begin for you? Like, tell us about your journey, like how you got to where you are today, a little bit.
Um, it definitely started with hip hop as far as legal businesses, but like most knuckleheads, the legal businesses were easier and more fun. Um, it's kind of funny because when I think about it, um, I don't know why I never told this story a lot before, but one of my first jobs, and this is gonna be so bad. Um, my first couple jobs were like a paper route
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
working at a gas station. So, and this is gonna remind y'all of the wire a little bit. So with the paper route, I got sick of going to people's place and try to collect the money because it wasn't like they charged. You actually had to go physically get the money.
Hmm.
Mm.
And then I was sick of somebody not checking the money and I just tell them, look, these people aren't paying. Oh, okay. So wait a minute, I don't got to go do that.
Hmm.
Oh, so the hustler brain in me was like, if you're not double checking my work, and now granted, I'm a kid. And so if you're not going to double check my work
Right.
and I got to go out here and walk anyway, okay. And then that was an easy way for me to make money. And with the gas station, well, if I can get sodas or candies out of there all the time and then just go sell them to other kids, that just seemed like a natural hustle to me. That just was like, I'm not selling drugs. I'm selling candy and pop. Like, let's go. And so
Hmm.
that's where I started learning a little bit about supply and demand and
Hmm.
what I can get away with. I wouldn't recommend going to do
Mhm.
something illegal, but um, and then of growing, getting older, having a daughter, I didn't want to continue doing certain things. And then poker. I actually learned a lot from playing poker.
Hmm.
I learned
Okay.
more. I was able to take my understanding of reading people, dealing with a household of abuse. The first
Hmm.
thing I know, a lot of people that suffer from abuse talk about how they had to learn how to read people and sort of
Hmm.
get the vibe. And so my
Mhm.
stepdad come home or he wake up and it was like, I don't like this vibe. Let me disappear for a minute.
Yep, yep.
And
Hmm.
so it made it easy to read people in poker. And then it was just learning calculations. Now, I don't like math and I can't always break down the percentages, but I understand a deck of cards. Certain amount of cards in a deck, certain amount of cards in a suit. If I see a certain amount of cards, it's like, you start playing those odds. And then you just got to read the person and then make it so they can't read you. So you sell drugs, you deal with that kind of trauma. You know how to read people very well. You know how to read situations. And I found some success in poker and it was like, oh, okay. And
Hmm.
then working jobs, and I was like, man, I'm sick of working for other people and making them money at jobs I don't want to work at,
Yeah.
and kind of decided that music was the thing for me right then. That's kind of the condensed version. Yeah, that's how I got started. And then with music, it was just being willing. Is weird. I was so willing to make a million mistakes because I didn't know I was making mistakes. I look back because like, oh yeah, this is gonna work this way. Oh man, it didn't work. Let me pivot into this way. Oh man, that didn't work. Oh, let me try this way. Let me try this. Let me do this. Let me do. Oh man, and it was just like after each time of trying new things, I could see what
Mhm.
worked, and then I just had to be honest with myself why something didn't work. Was it just a really bad idea, or was it
Yeah.
something that I could have done better? Like if a show didn't do well, I took that personal. I didn't take it
Sure.
personal that the city wasn't supporting me. I took it personal I didn't do my job.
Mhm.
So then
Right.
it was like, okay, how can I do better? And then it was like, okay, more flyers, more posters.
Mhm.
Figure out MySpace at that time. Figure out,
You said
uh,
MySpace. Oh wow.
man, like
Man,
yeah,
who's in your top 8, yo? Do you remember who's in your top 8?
man. No, I don't remember who's in my top eight. I only like I guarantee I wasn't really listening to people like that.
Okay.
It was just more a tool, like using everything as a tool. Social media was my
Yeah.
greatest tool, and so
Mhm.
Facebook. And at this time, Facebook wasn't cracking. So if you put an event on Facebook
Yep.
and people said they were coming, more than likely they were coming. And
That's
so
true.
And then I just made sure to poster, do all that, and then really get on the grind. And then it was when someone said something couldn't be done, I was like, you can't do it. I
Right.
can do it. And so when everyone said you couldn't get on the radio station, that you can't do it, but I'm gonna do it. And then I just blew up the program director until he was okay with having a beer and some food with me. And then he liked who I was. He liked I just wasn't some person just asking for something. It was like, look, if you put local artists on your show,
Mhm.
you will get more viewership during those times.
Mhm.
You are bringing national acts already. Let local people open. You might bring out 10 to 20 more people, which will look good for sponsors. And
True,
especially at
true.
that time, because Jam's demographic is a top 40 rhythmic state, like they're a top 40 rhythmic station. Their
Yep.
demographic are kids that listen to the radio. However, when they do shows, they couldn't afford those acts that those kids wanted
Yeah.
to see. So they would bring out older acts because their sponsors were like beer and all this. So you
Mhm.
need those older acts. So if you bring the local
Mhm.
acts that are older, because typically they were, now you got a demo that's going to go buy the beer. Boom, you make your sponsors happy. So it was like I knew how to sell that. And
So,
then, oh,
Mark,
go ahead.
were you ever working with 93.1 on the Taste of Madison? Some of the artists that were coming in and like
Yeah,
opening up for. Okay.
it got to a point
Okay.
where besides Profound, and we're all old enough to remember Profound.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
Eric. Yeah.
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 So when every act locally got booked for probably a decade, they came to me and asked. And
Mm,
that was dope because I was able to tell them artists that I work with, but also show love to other artists that I wasn't working with that I knew were doing well at shows, that were doing well, that I know I would book for a show. So
yeah.
the Taste of Madison, Dane County Fair,
Bratfest too.
yeah, Brafest.
Hmm.
So it was like wherever Jams had a stage, they were hitting me up for the local acts, and I could understand why that might upset people to a certain extent, but it's like no one's stopping you from making that connect. Go make that connect and go set up that meeting and be a bulldog about it, and then show them that you can bring something to the table.
Right.
And it just it worked out well. It worked out well, and I still have a great relationship with them. And you're talking like 2 or 3 program directors later and multiple DJs later. So it's like they've just passed on my information because I've always done things the right way, professional. Even when I may not agree with them,
Mhm.
I just kept it professional. I'm not going to burn a bridge just because we don't see eye to eye on something. So
And that's like some executive upper echelon intelligence you just dropped on people. Like
Right.
you don't have to like someone to work to actually work with them and be effective and have a great outcome. Just from my personal perspective, I was never really able to, you know, build those type of relationships. I kind of did it on purpose, kind of shot myself in the foot, like, man, they playing
mhm.
that pop, man, I ain't trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Like just not thinking about the big picture. So that's dope on
I
how
think
you
that was the
are still
benefit of
doing
not
that.
being an artist,
Yeah.
and just really focusing on the business. And then when I was younger, I was the knucklehead that always kicked off a war, kicked off something stupid for no reason. Man, don't get in that fight right now. You gonna kick this off. Things I still smack a dude. And so it was like I had it was like I had to learn to like keep myself in check. And it was
Mhm.
like,
Hey,
you
my
messing up
grandmother gave
business.
me that chain.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. It was like, yeah. Like I was the dude that would like wild out. And I know it's because I was so angry as a kid, but it was
Sure.
like I always felt like I had to prove something.
Mm,
Um, and it's one of those things being mixed and grown up and mostly, predominantly black neighborhood, Hispanic neighborhood. It was like I always felt like I had to prove something. And
Mhm.
so I
mm.
was I wasn't white at home and I wasn't always black enough out there. And so it was like, okay.
Oh
And like
yeah, yeah.
my guys never looked at me like that, but I always felt like I had to prove something. So I had to be a bigger dog about things. So it's like, yeah, we
Mm.
gon' you want that? I don't care. And I figured nobody could give me more pain than what I was dealing with at home. So if you willing to rumble, we gonna go. And so I just took that mentality, just sort of matured and grew. And so it was like, okay, I want that same dog mentality. I want to work like that, but now I got to get along with people. And
Right.
so, and I think the benefit was moving to like I got moved to Wisconsin when I was 17 and I had to live like out in farmland. And now you talk all white people.
Yeah,
And now
I
I
don't
had to,
know. Yeah, Richmond Center.
yeah,
That's
Richmond
all.
Center, that's white,
It's pretty
is
white.
white. And
That's
so
white
it's
as
like,
hell.
It's pretty white.
Mm-hmm.
You step into town, it's just you. You change the
yeah,
demographic every
it's
time
like,
you drive in there.
yeah, it's like, okay. I don't know how to communicate with none of y'all. And it sounds funny because my mom is white, but my mom, she always told me, I never seen you marrying a white woman. That's one of the first things she said. Like when me and Sherelle got married, yeah, I never seen you marrying a white woman. So like, this is more what I seen. Like, so my family's white. I didn't really know the other side of my family, but everybody I grew up with wasn't white. So it was like, now I'm around all these white people. I don't know what to say or do. So let me just put on some headphones, put the pick in my head because I had a fro, and let me just walk around and do me. I play sports, and like I'm good. I don't have to do nothing. And it worked because the rule was, not to listen to music, but they didn't say nothing to me. They let me do me. So it was like I learned how to communicate with people that are different from me. And that is a valuable skill that I really, really needed because I could not go around and be Dame Dash. He had the money.
Right,
I didn't have the money. I had to make the connects. And so once I knew that, then it was like, all right, let's go make the connects. And as long as they're not disrespecting me, cool. And once I learned how to use the media, it was a wrap. It was a wrap because then once I made the connects with the media, okay, this how y'all want to treat us? Mm-hmm. NBC, how you doing? How would you like this story? And this is what's happening. Tell me if you want to cover it. Oh, Isthmus, this is what's happening. Like, and so that gave me a different power chip. So what I didn't have in money and what I didn't have in influence with the city at that time, it was more what a guerrilla style warfare. It's like I can't beat you. I don't have the resources. So I'm gonna nip at you. And I'm gonna make the right connects that work for me. So like Tom Farley when he was an alderman, the right connect. JD with Jams, the right connect. This person over here at NBC, the right connect. This person over here. It's just I don't have the vast army, but I'm gonna take ports.
Sure.
Ports. And I looked at it like war. And someone like Alexander, when Alexander won, he didn't take them head on. He took away their supply lines, so they couldn't get supplies. So now they're weaker, and so that's how I started looking at things. So
when you say Alexander, you mean Alexander the Great?
Yeah, Alexander the Great.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
My bad.
Fill in
Alexander
the blank
the Great.
for people who listening, because I know you be on some higher level shit, Mark.
Yeah, I listen to Mike Tyson, man. I swear. And some of my students say they listen to Mike Tyson talking. It's like listening to a twin. I haven't accomplished what that man has, but we definitely have the same mind frame. I love studying great conquerors, great leaders, because you can see where they messed up and you can see where they were so successful. And it's the same thing that made them successful that messed them up, is that ego. Because you need an ego to go do some of this stuff. It's just not confidence. You got to have that ego where, of course, I'm not going to mess up. Oh, shit, I failed. Okay. Go do it again. I'm not going to mess this. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
say you want to say. All right.
Yes.
I'm gonna mess this up, and it's like you almost gotta be ignorant to the fact that you failing, and just still at the same time understand what you failed, and that's just checking yourself. And it's like that ego and humble meter are constantly doing this, and if you let humble get too much up here, you're not gonna want to jump off the cliff and keep trying. But if you let ego get up here, you're not even gonna think of new ideas. And I think human nature, like I've definitely been up here, and then when I fell, I was like, "Ooh, that one hurt. That one hurt." And then humbled to the point where I can't jump. I'm afraid. No. Oh man, I should have jumped. And so those situations happen Those situations.
Feeling the podcast, brother.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. That's just too funny. That was too
Come on,
funny.
sit on down. Shit, we having a good conversation.
Yeah,
That's
that
why I
was funny.
record
But,
at the crib. When I'm here, there's too many people.
I dig it. That was funny. That was
That was
funny. I
funny.
don't
Is
care
that
what
like,
you say. That was hilarious.
Hey.
But yeah, that was
Cool.
I think just learning how to communicate with people that don't look like me. And that's the benefit. I didn't grow up. I'm not old. I'm about to be 42, but definitely through an era where there weren't a lot of people that looked like me. They were either white or they were black or they were Hispanic or they were Asian. There weren't many people that looked like me. So I just had to learn how to maneuver through that.
Word.